This is your instant reaction. We are back in the Denbigh Castle. Everton have somehow lost 3-1 at home to West Ham United. I've got Dave Downey, Les Roberts, Matt Flusk, potentially a few others joining us as well on that. I mean, I'm absolutely speechless after that, Dave. I've never seen a team more desperate to be one to get beat at 0-0 and 1-0 as West Ham were today. Felt like they were all ready to go, all ready to give up. The fans were ready to get the Moyes out banners, and Everton gifted the two of them on a plate.
Yeah, they did. And you know, apart from that, Matt, I know you see them as we're starting to do this, which is obviously the whole point in doing as quickly as possible when games finish, how you feel naturally afterwards. But before going on to the 2 goals we conceded quite late on, I thought it was a decent game. I thought we could play quite well, and you're absolutely right. I thought the first thing that I thought, actually, we deserved to go 1-0 up. You had McNeil missing that, and me and Flusk have been speaking about this quite a bit. I've mentioned it about 10 times. He misses from 4 yards out and hits it straight to the goalkeeper.
That's the moment.
That's it, yeah. And obviously, he obviously replied to it in a second, but that happens, goes in, 2-0, game over. You know, and that's without even talking about the first half with Beto, that ridiculous penalty, him even taking it. But by and large, I thought we played well, Matt, and I think you're absolutely spot on. I think West Ham there, I think Moyes will be going home, probably laughing his head off, so relieved when they're driving back down to London or getting the train or whatever it is. Mind you can't get a train in this city at the moment. Him getting off down back to London thinking, do you know what, that's probably saved my job, getting a 3-1 win there, because he was running around the pitch afterwards with a few of their players. And yeah, I mean, we looked in control. They were on the counter-attack, and it just took one more goal to win it, Matt, and it just didn't look like it was going to come for us. And you know, how many times have we said that about needing a goal to win a game? The game was already won. You go and score one more and everyone's celebrating. It's a crucial 3 points as well, given the results that have gone on behind us and the current one that looks like it's going to happen there at Luton. So yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've seen you in a while this angry at that, and rightly so, because that was a hard one to take, given the, I mean, 3-1 though as well. Do you know what I mean? You see he scores in games, you think, you must have been battered by a team. If you lose 1-3-1, they must have played really well. That has nothing to do with the narrative of that game.
Anyone?
Oh, go ahead then, yeah. Yeah, I think I can't really argue with any of that. It's like we were pretty much in control of that second half for the most part. Even when they got the equaliser, we settled back down and we never looked like we were going to throw that game at all, but purely because West Ham just weren't really in it. I think the first half is very, very forgettable for a lot of reasons. I think we looked, there was no sort of pattern of play from us. It was all very predictable. Tarkowski would get it, there'd be 2 men out wide right, he'd whack it across the pitch to the left, which probably comes off 3 and 5 times, but it's so predictable. And there was just nothing happening first half. It was very forgettable. Just
both sides, though, Les.
Oh yeah, I mean West Ham weren't in it at all either. They were terrible as well. You know, then we do finally get the penalty, and was there anything more nailed on than when we eventually get a penalty, we fucking miss it. Again, you know,
What's he taking?
I think
I don't know why he's taking it.
He had hold of the ball too long. He had loads of time to stand there, look at the goal, think about it.
The lad can't kick a football.
No, you can't. Well, I saw the penalty back from the reverse angle before. If you're hitting it low on the floor, it's got to be clean and it's got to fizzle on the floor.
What are we talking about here? You have to explain. That shows how bad this was, doesn't it?
It actually bobbles. It's like he's topped it and it bobbles across. It's dreadful. Do you know, without the run-up, it's every bit as bad as Onana's. Although, do you know what? The run-up might be as bad because he absolutely telegraphed where he was putting it. Yeah. He was straight on, jumped to his left, which says, yeah, you're putting this in the bottom right. Yeah. It was dreadful. But an issue for me there is, would he be our first named penalty taker out of that 11? I don't know, but I wouldn't say he is. But then no one was clamouring to get the ball off and to say, do you know what, I'll have this. He got the ball straight away. No one went near him. And it was like, have they all sussed this out beforehand? Because if that's how he hits a penalty, he shouldn't be on them. I know the one he scored against Fulham, he belted it and it was a good penalty and it flew in. But, you know, in the position we're in, we can't be missing chances. We can't be missing penalties. Because that's a game changer then. They go in 1-0 half time. And in fairness, I think going in 0-0 at half time, heads could have been down, but they came out and they played well second half. They took the game to West Ham, got the goal, and then I don't know. I'll pass over to Matt now because I've gone on long enough. It's just very, very frustrating and quite worrying that it feels like the first time we've properly capitulated there and kind of fell apart towards the end of a game that I can think of recently.
Yeah, on the penalty, I can't really crucify Beto because I don't think it changed the whole outcome of the game. It left it 0-0, and then obviously he comes up and scores the opening goal. I just think if that was Calvert-Lewin needed something like that, and the first penalty we get this last season, he's on the bloody bench. It's just sod's law for the poor lad. But like, he would be absolutely crucified if he'd done that. So I think Beto might get off a bit lightly, but to be honest, it didn't really change the outcome of the game. The game overall, it felt like one of those losses we had at the start of the season more than anything. And that's kind of been rammed home by the fact that Les showed us a graphic of the top 4 goalkeeper performances this season, and it's Jose Sarr at Goodison, Bernd Leno at Goodison, and now Areola at Goodison.
I don't think he was that good today.
He made loads of saves, and like...
Quite a few of them were at him.
I think if any of them, it was a bit like Tim Howard against Belgium. Like if any of those shots go in, you're like, that's a goalkeeper mistake. Even the penalty, like he should save it. Like once he goes the right way, he should save it. But like there's no there's no
Tell the listeners what we're actually doing.
Well, no, there's no save. I think the best save he makes wasn't even from a shot. It was from Decore's cross to stop Calvert-Lewin from scoring. Everything else is pretty much straight at him.
No, like for example, the McNeil one, which does go straight at him, but he's done well to hold on to that, and it's probably the only one he held on to all game. He's obviously one of those keepers that prefers to parry it rather than try and catch it, but when he's parrying it out of danger. Like, I thought he had a very, very good game. I'm sure any West Ham, the Claret and Blue Room or whatever they call their version of this kind of podcast, they would be singing his praises right now, and rightly so. I thought he had a cracking game. But it did feel like one of them early season games where we've had some absolutely dreadful losses this season, and the past few losses we've had since our last win, obviously the Wolves game, complete aberration. But the other ones just felt a bit like, we never really got going and stuff like that. We did deserve to lose that, I don't think, overall. Like, the second half especially, some of our attack and play, it felt like that 4-game winning streak. It felt like we were properly opening up again, finding space, and then that's happened right at the end, and it's knocked the stuffing out of us. But overall, if this was August or September, I'd be probably saying what I was most likely saying back then on this, which is the pieces look like they're coming together. We just need to find the back of the net and finish properly. And apparently, I've not seen it yet, but one of the lads has said in Dyche's post-match, he does look like he's absolutely furious with the poor quality of the finishing. Because a lot of people, like, trudging out at 2-1, and I was one of those people who didn't even see the third goal, because no trains, I had to get back to town and that. And loads of people screaming for Dyche's head, like, he's lost us that game, he's lost that. Like, he can't make them finish the chances. He's made the change today, he's brought Beto in for the first half, and other than that little knockdown, he's done what we know Beto does, which is he seems to completely he ignores the ball. He's too focused on bouncing his man, and I don't think he's the answer by any means whatsoever. But overall, it feels very disheartening. But I didn't see anything, especially in that second half, that screams we're absolutely doomed here.
So it wasn't done till 74, by the way. I'm always doing the sub count for what he does. Doesn't make a change till 74 after it's gone 1-0. And just to add to that, just one last word on it. I thought McNeil and Harrison were crap. Yeah.
Can I just say, while we're talking about Areola, I think Areola's a bit of a tit. We'll move on.
Keith Tomlin joins us now. Mate, how do you feel after that?
I have absolutely no idea how Everton have contrived to lose that game, because that's the worst West Ham side I've seen turn up to Goodison ever, and I include the team we beat 4-0. They were dreadful. They played for a draw from the first minute, and we somehow lost 3-1. Until half an hour ago, I thought it was 2-1.
No, he genuinely did not know it was 3-1.
I found out it was 3-1, and I was agog. Do you know? I thought we'd lost 2-1. I was on Bullen's Road before they'd kicked off after their winner, or what I thought was the winner, until they went and scored another one. I've no idea how Everton have lost that game. Genuinely, what I will say is it's the first time I think this season that I've seen an Everton team dominate a team on the pitch at Goodison, completely from start to finish. They were much the better side, but just. Now, like, apart from, there was a 10-minute spell in the first half where West Ham got on top and had a couple of shots on goal and that. But other than that, I don't think they did anything until they equalised. And I'm just absolutely shocked at how we've lost that game. But yeah, there we go.
Where I'm annoyed is like, I think you're right. Like, we were the dominant team in the game. We had more of the ball. We created the better chances. But I think sometimes, and like, I think to be an effective team in this league, you've got to seize your moment. And at 1-0, certainly, like, that game is just so there to be won. Like I said at the start, like, they are ready to give they're going through the motions. Like, I think you know, they were there in the first half. They were trying. They were having a bit of a go. But I think when you look at their away record, you look at like how it's been going with the manager. Like, once that first goal goes in, they are a team ready to give it up there. And I think if McNeil sticks that chance away at 2-0, Everton probably go on to win that 3 or even 4, because I think they just threw the towel in and they capitulate like they have done so many times in games recently. And I think we like, to not have that ruthless streak in a game like that, where like you can just sense it. It's part, I think, due to lack of character. I think it's part due to lack of quality. And it's just like, it's one of those where you look at the team, you just think like, we're just lacking in so many areas. Like, I think so many teams just put West Ham to bed there and just do the decent thing, and we just let them off the hook.
Yeah, after the first goal, like, we did start to bully them. And I did say to my brother to say, like, these should crumple now. And it looked like they were going to, like, but for that chance.
But then, effectively, that's the thing. Like, they did crumble, but we just weren't there to capitalise on the crumbling.
No, absolutely. And then I don't know what the gap was between the two goals, but after, let's say, 10 minutes or whatever it was, we just seemed to step back just a little bit, just drop the pressure a little bit, and we gave them a spell of about a minute and a half where they put together about 20 odd passes and then won the corner off it. Like, we should never have stepped backwards like that and just give them a little tiny sniff, especially when you're against a side who, I completely forgot this up until he walked up to the corner flag, but me, Ward-Prowse is in that team. You don't give the team with the best dead ball specialists in the league the chance to throw in a corner like that. And yeah, it was probably about 20 seconds of just stepping it back a little bit, and they were like, oh yeah, and that was it.
I think, just quickly, I completely agree that we didn't take our chances to bury that game, because I think we had 11 shots on target. As you said, Matt, it was very Tim Howard for Areola today. It was like there was a load he could have thrown his cap on. But I think the worry for me was at the other end as well. It's like it's the dropping off in concentration for that killer goal, basically the second. You know, Souček's got so much time at the back post.
Very IU.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but probably even worse actually. Yeah, but even worse because he had more time. He actually chested it, let it drop, let it bounce up and hit it. You know, that's criminal to give any player in the box that much time. You know, you can point fingers at the left-sided defenders, midfielders, but you know, stuff like that's not good enough. And as I said, you know, we can't afford to miss chances like that, the position winning. We can't afford to miss penalties. We can't afford to defend like that at crucial times. I know the defence has been very good this season, and it was at times again today. There was a couple of good last-ditch challenges again, and Pickford made a good tackle as well. But it's worrying that, you know, we can allow players that much time. One other thing I just want to come back to as well, like, I keep thinking about this. It's something Warren said on another show, I think, where he said about, like, you know, beating a team home and away. Yeah. I think it was before Palace, and he was like, you know, this is a good chance to get like 6 points against the team. Now we've got Forest and Brentford coming up at home, and we really need to win those games. But after today, I can't see that team doing the double over anyone. I know it's not like an exact science or anything like that, but it just feels like if we've already beat a team away, I can't see us doing them at home. So that does worry me, and it does feel like just 3 points thrown away today.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Even getting a draw, we'd be sat here saying similar things, to be honest with you. And it felt like, I think all three of you guys have made that same similar point there. It felt to me like the Chelsea at home game, the back-to-back with Newcastle at home, where we actually looked like a side that could score goals. We actually looked like we were going to be lethal. You know, lethal maybe going a little bit too far, but, you know, able to score, look, you know, competent in terms of attacking. Today looked like that game without actually being able to do that. And the context of where that is just where we've gone since all this has happened, where the points back and all that sort of thing. We banged on about it, and we will bang on it a lot more, won't we? No doubt when the next sort of decisions come along. And I just like Matt there's not blaming Dice at all, but I do find myself coming to him quite a lot normally against the changes that he makes there. But I think we've gone 1-0 up, and what you said there spot on. They're there for the jugular, and it did look to me like he said to them, or maybe it's just the way the players have done it, and he's sitting in the changing rooms right now saying, why didn't you go and score the second and the third? But to me, it didn't look like that killer edge was there by default, whether it's just because of the way these players are, or maybe a little bit worried that the other side goes on the counter attack and equalises.
Is that a quality thing or a character thing?
Do you know what? I was going to say, it's easy to sit on the fence and say a bit of both there, but how often has it happened? Do you know what I mean? So these lads, when it happens, I don't imagine you've got your captain. I don't imagine you've got Tarkowski screaming at everyone going, let's kick these in the bollocks, lads. Go 2-0 up here. And then the game's over. We just defend like we normally do. But having said that, I think you've got a manager there that when we've gone 1-0 up, he's confident enough to say to our back four, which will probably end up as a back nine, that 1-0 will do us, lads. We know how well we defend. We will win that game. Just have some confidence on how we can defend here. So yeah, that's where Matt said there. I think it's a bit of both. But the narrative of it is just so infuriating, man. When you walked in here, mate, it looked like you were going to start cheering people when you walked in before, and rightly so, because I don't think that
just feels like that feels like such a big opportunity. Like, you look on paper and you think, I feel like we've got like games this season where it's like we probably should win more than that today, because they're a good side who are like pushing for Europe. But like the context of the game, like the feeling in that ground at 1-0, it's like these are begging for it. It's like, just do the decent thing, Everton.
Game over.
Just like they all want to kick off at Moyes. They all want to throw their arms up in the air and fume about their manager and like have a bit of a crisis, because as much as we've been in crisis this year, they are the crisis club, aren't they? They love it. Yeah. Like and us, like we just didn't do it. It's like they were begging for it, and we just didn't do it today.
What's annoying me is a win today would have put Everton in a position to be comfortably safe by, say, the end of this month. Yeah, we could have kicked on from a win today and said, right, okay, we can put a bit of distance between us, even if there is another points deduction to come, which there may well be. We don't know. Like, I'm not going to second guess any of that, right? But we could have put ourselves in a position where we could have built a bit of a buffer between ourselves and Luton, ourselves and Forest, especially with the goal difference we've got as well, which is like far superior to both of them and Brentford, I believe, and put ourselves, like, set ourselves up for not even winning games, but picking up a draw on the road would move us towards that 40-point mark, where we can just say, right, okay, this season's done, we can put it to bed, we can regroup in the summer and go again. But I think we are still firmly in the midst of a relegation battle, and will be probably now until the last month of the season. And you look at Luton, look at some of the results Luton have got along the way. Obviously, they're not doing so well right now. They're going to lose this against Villa. Touch wood. There is still 40 minutes to go, but they're 2-0 down and spewing it.
You've got some editing to do tonight.
If Luton go on and win this, I accept full responsibility for Everton's relegation.
If you're editing this out, I may as well just say Luton haven't won a game from behind this season yet.
Do you know
right, what Matt said is far worse than what I've said. So, anyway, but you look at some of the results they've picked up, games they weren't expected to win. That's what Everton needs to start doing. Games they're not expected to win. Oh God, it's
lining up right now.
You're joining us live for a Ross Barkley
This is why we
free
call
kick.
it instant reaction.
And if it goes in, I promise I'll never come on another post-match for the rest of the season.
Oh, it's in the wall.
He's hit the wall. He's hit the wall because he's rubbish.
Yeah, I think
And
what you've said there, you know, with the points, and the thing.
Have you finished recording?
No. 5 minutes. Yeah.
You've just spoiled it. Like,
Right.
with what you mentioned there, Keith was saying about getting into that momentum where you've probably gone and saved the season if you win this tonight, and then you go away to United, away to Bournemouth, and pick up a point or two, probably in a better position there. But also, the thing I keep in mind is these fucking points that if they come back or not, we could easily save ourselves from that. They put another 6 on or whatever it is. You could be clear of this right now. Or the fortunate thing I'd throw in there towards the end of us finishing here is that we were really lucky with results going our way today, because Chelsea got back in the 2-1, they were losing 2-1 at Brentford, and dare to say it, Liverpool went and won in the last kick of the game at Forest. Never celebrated a Liverpool goal before, but I looked at that result and was like, it's a bit of a relief.
As I was walking out the ground, Jay told me that result and I nearly went, yes. I had to check myself when I heard Liverpool's result. I feel terrible. I'm getting a lobotomy booked in on Monday. Just a quick one from me, a word on the West Ham fans and the songs. Absolutely dreadful. National anthem, England.
Oh my God.
England and fuck the Scousers.
Margaret Thatcher as well.
Oh, did they? I missed that one. My God, has there ever been a bigger bunch of Tory Essex boy knobheads, basically?
Go back to getting your best ever manager sack, lads. Just one other thing I wanted to just bring to the group actually before I leave. I can't not talk about it. An honest shot in the 90th minute. I mean, I don't really lose it at the match very often, but I lost it. I mean, in fact, I want to bring Keith in on this because I'm sure he's got a strong opinion. Just before we finish up, very quickly, we talking about Amadou Onana's shot in the 90th minute from about 35 yards.
How much editing do you want to do of this podcast?
Well, it depends on what Luton go and do now, mate, so you'll get this kicked out as well.
Just don't say anything libelous, please.
8:15 tune over this one.
It might be worse. It might be worse than what the United States of America did to the Japanese Empire. That's all I'm going to say.
Does anyone else want to elaborate on that? I mean, it was a bad shot.
I mean, I've seen Garnagay hit some bad shots this season, but that was worse. So I don't know if the two lads do shooting practice together, but the frustrating thing was as well, we were keeping possession nicely on the edge of their box. To be a bit serious for a minute about it, we were keeping possession nicely. We were patient. We were picking out wide. We could have picked the chance up. But it's like, it's one of them.
Was it bobbling back to him as well?
God.
He wasn't even on at any point.
There are some shots you see, especially when you sit behind a goal. There are some you see and it leaves a fella's foot and you're like, oh my God, that's in. As soon as he swung his leg at that, you thought, yeah, the linesman better watch himself here. Oh, dreadful. I thought he was all right today, though, actually. Aside from that, no.
I'm not convinced either as well. I mean, it's sort of ironic as well, man. How many times we talk about it, but the actual goal Beto scores was actually really good.
But he shouldered it, didn't he?
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Did
it's on
it?
shoulder, yeah.
Oh, well, he's shite then still, isn't he? But what did you make of him starting ahead of Calvert-Lewin, though?
He scored, didn't he? So, you know.
Take away from that, though.
But
Were you fuming when you see the 11?
No, not. We're going to get kicked out of here now, so we've not got time. Listen to Blue Monday to hear our thoughts on that. if you want more Everton content, but
Promise you we didn't write that down for the advert.
We're going to get kicked out of the private bit of the Denbigh because there's a function on here. But yeah, I'm sure everyone's thoroughly fed up of listening to us talk about that game anyway. So cheers to Keith, Matt, Les and Dave. That's been your instant reaction for Everton 1, West Ham 3. It was Keith, just to remind you again.
Like, what do you even do with that? It's not the first time this has happened to me.
Have you seen the third goal yet?
No, I'm not. I don't plan to. I still haven't.
James Garner gave it away twice and then they counter-attacked.
All I'll say is I still haven't seen Liverpool's winner when Jordan Pickford apparently tipped it onto the bar. So I have no intention of seeing it. I haven't seen Watford's 3 goals after they came back to 2-2 in the 5-2 game. So I'm going to keep it that way because I like value my mental health. And
it's like never watching the end of Old Yeller.
I've never seen it.
No, but you have said that Aston Villa have won 5-0 away at Luton, haven't you?
4-0, Dave. 4-0.
Oh, they come back now. We're going to lose followers in the thousands here.
Maybe
right.
the end of the blue room if that happens.
If this is the end, thanks for listening forever, everyone. We'll never speak to you again. Up the Toffees. Take care.